Welcome, everyone, to the Bucks County Living Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Neff, your real estate resource. Today, I am joined by the founder and CEO of PB Adjusting LLC, Peter Bondarenko. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is so good to see you, and I'm really excited to jump into the mysticism around public adjusting and what that kind of means, and what you do with your company and how you help people in the community, because that's really what public adjusting is. At least what I see on the front end is you're trying to help people get money back for some kind of crazy, unexpected catastrophe that might happen in their home. And I really would love to jump into your story. So, could you tell me a little bit about like what a public adjuster does, what you actually do, and what is public adjusting?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Alex, for this interview. It means a lot to me. It's good to get that knowledge out that people understand what we do and how they can utilize our services to benefit their best interest. So, public adjuster is a licensed profession. It's actually by the state. So each state has its own licensing. But what we do are we are the advocate for the policyholder. We negotiate on their behalf to make sure the settlement is fair and that they get the maximum amount of money per their policy. We also do free policy reviews and free property inspections to make sure people are fully covered before even something happens. So, public adjusting is a secret weapon that a lot of people don't know about, unfortunately. So, it's getting more and more known. People do know they have the choice of hiring their own representative to make sure they treat it fairly and then they get fair settlement.
So you're basically, if somebody wants to put in a homeowner's claim, right? Say water heater goes or a tree branch falls through the roof. You're basically the homeowner's shield to kind of go and protect them from all of the crazy stuff that the insurance company might not cover, or like, because I guess all the details, that behind the scenes stuff, that the insurance lingo that not a lot of people understand.
Yeah, so most people, when they get in a car accident, who's the first person they call before they loved ones?
Yeah, you call your
An
insurance
attorney,
guy.
right?
Oh, an attorney. See,
Yes.
I call my insurance agent because
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
even.
Most people usually call their attorney, and they go with an attorney when they have a case, right? Well, why don't you use a public adjuster when you have property damage? Whether it's your own home, your business, doesn't matter. When there's a possibility that you may have a choice or claim and you don't know about it, call public adjuster first, a reputable one.
Yeah, I know, you make a great point. I guess I would call an attorney if like it was my fault, right? I'd probably not. I probably wouldn't call my insurance person if it was my fault to begin with. They're the person that I'm calling if it's not
You
my fault.
you're one of the different ones because most people call attorney first
Yeah,
after calling their significant other. But
yeah.
their neck, their back, whatever it is. But yes, you will call the public adjuster even before you even speak to the insurance company.
Wow. So, what do you cover? Like, or are you able to kind of go to bat for the homeowner on all aspects of the if something happens in the home? Like, for instance, I had a client that had purchased the home, and they moved in and they ran a load of laundry, and their basement flooded, and then they went to their homeowners insurance. They were only there for a month. Or they had purchased within that month, and they said that they weren't covered. So, would you do you cover like all aspects, and
Yes, and do you know why they said they were not covered?
why?
Because you used the F word.
What's the
Don't ever use the F word.
what was the F word?
Flood,
Oh,
water damage.
okay.
As soon as you say flood, it doesn't matter what it costs. Most insurance companies will deny you over the phone, most likely, and say you don't have coverage because they're not lying. They're telling you the truth because most homeowners policies do not have flood coverage. You have to have special provisions and different policy for flood. So if you call in and say you have a flood, they're going to tell you, sorry, you're not covered. They're not lying, but you said the wrong thing. So that's why it's important to talk to a public adjuster first, because things like that gets people denied all the time, and we reopen those cases a lot, and we get them overturned and paid. But because people don't know, they're not educated enough to say the right things. That's why they get denied.
And I think you make a great point there, because it is so important to have somebody on your team that that knows the industry, that is able to go to bat for you. And that's why public adjusting, that's why I like real estate so much, because whether I'm helping somebody list a home or purchase a home, I am there to be their shield. I'm there to, try and make sure that they're getting the best deal possible. And if they're selling the home, I'm trying to make sure they're getting the maximum dollar amount with the best terms. And if they're purchasing a home, I want them to know exactly what they're walking into as far as the guts of the home and a home inspection, the mortgage side of things. I'm trying to make sure that everybody's getting the best deal possible. And it sounds like public adjusting is the same way, where you're trying to make sure and protect the homeowner with their insurance and get them covered and the maximum coverage allowable using those specific keywords.
Absolutely. I mean, any business needs a great team. If you don't have a good team, then you're gonna struggle, more difficult, to represent the client, whether it's an attorney, a realtor, or whatever profession there is. But what is very important is when you do hire the team, make sure you're hiring the right team. Not all public adjusters are equal. There's companies out there that are reputable, and there's some that are not. So you have to do your due diligence before you hire them to make sure you have the right team on your side. That's very important.
Yeah.
Just like a realtor, I'm sure people ask you, hey, how many houses you have sold? Do you have experience? Oh, look you up if there's any complaints against you. The same thing goes with any industry, whether there's a good contractor or bad contractor, a good roofer, bad roofer. It goes in any industry there is. So this is not any different.
Exactly. There are plenty of good realtors out there, and there are plenty of not so good realtors out there.
Absolutely.
So, awesome. Now, so you're licensed in the state of Pennsylvania. Are you licensed in any other state around
New Jersey
PA?
as well.
You're licensed in Me too. Cool. So you can go both sides of the bridge and help anybody with any kind of insurance claims.
Absolutely.
On both sides. And is there separate licensing for commercial, or is it all just one license?
No, just one license for both.
Awesome. Tell me about you. Where are you from? How'd you land on Bucks County? How did you get into public adjusting?
Well, that's a great question, Alex. So I actually came from Europe. I was born and raised in Poland. I came here when I was about 16. I did not know any English. Well, let me rephrase that. I only knew one word. I'll be back. Watching Schwarzenegger, that was my hero. And I came to America with a dream of a better life. And, I went to school. I went to high school, then tech school. But since I got here, my cousin was a contractor, and I used to work with him on the weekends. Then turned into, working construction more fluently, and became my business. So about 1999, I started my own construction company, and I've been in construction since then. I'm not any longer in construction for public. I usually use that for either consulting or my own, rehabbing and flipping houses. But that's when 2008 hit, when the economy, was really bad and people were not hiring contractors. I had to look for something else to provide for my family, and that's when I learned about public adjusting. I never heard of public adjusting till then, and I was like, wow, this is a great concept. I can help people get the money and then make the repairs, and they pretty much don't have to pay anything out of their pocket. That was just excellent idea. I wish I knew public adjusting, years back before that. But I've been doing that since. It started as a part-time and then turned into full-time. So that's pretty much public adjusting in my main key.
Wow. So you've been doing this for 15 years now, and it's clear, that you're passionate about just helping people, because that's what this is about. And it's clear that you're very passionate about it, purchasing distressed properties and turning them into these beautiful works of art and providing them to other people that are looking to purchase a home, something turnkey, or even, I don't know if you do any buy and holds, and or renting out places to people that are looking for nicer places to go. It's clear that you're passionate about all aspects of real estate, insurance, of just helping people that may not understand or may not be in those worlds of real estate and insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I enjoy, working, although sometimes can be difficult working with certain, either adjusters or insurance companies. But I love what I do. I like seeing people, being shocked at the amount of money we can get them for the damage. But most importantly, even like in a real estate, providing homes for other people that are looking for it, getting a house that's really needs a lot of work, then turning into a beautiful home where somebody can enjoy it and spend the rest of their lives there or most of their lives, or even taking over some other people's mortgages that they can afford it. Some people just need to walk away, and rather than hurting their credit, I can just take over and pay their mortgage payments, and they can walk away and build their credit, and perhaps maybe get another house when the economy gets a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, can you tell me like one of the feel good stories about somebody that you've helped with public adjusting?
Oh, I can tell you numerous. I mean, a lot of people think they can get a contractor. The contractor can help them, right? So I give you this one case. So a client hired us. It wasn't from the beginning. He already tried to do it on his own. He was getting thrown around and nothing was happening. I think he got like $1,500 from the insurance company. Then he got his contractor involved, and the contractor, was very knowledgeable, good contractor, but I think he got them to about $6,000. But when I got involved, we actually made that claim to about $40,000 because knowledge is the key, and the more experience you have in this field, it's very important. So having the construction background, knowing the codes, um, you know, helped me build that case to tell the adjuster, hey, listen, this is not per code. This whole deck needs to come down because it's sitting on the septic tanks, which nobody even looked at. I'm very observant. I look for smallest details there is to build my case. Every claim that I go to, I document as much as I can. I always think this may go to court. So I take a lot of photos, a lot of documents, but just the knowledge of construction, I build houses from ground up. I know what's needed to put it back. So that alone helps me. Plus, I take a lot of courses, trainings, certifications to help me deal with the insurance companies to state the facts. Insurance company will not deny you or not pay if you state the facts, and facts are facts. So if you can build a case and show them this is why this needs to get paid or approved, they'll pay. You just have to present it in the right way. That's the key.
Wow. So you were able to get this person from a $1,500 settlement to a $40,000 settlement because you saw things that maybe he was unable to see or just wasn't aware of, and somebody else. It sounds like there was another public adjuster involved that was unable to see as
No,
well.
that was a contractor that
Oh,
he
the
hired.
contractor.
And the contractor wasn't even aware of, that the decking railing was too low, wasn't up to the code. There was no joist hangers. It was sitting on a septic tank. Like those little things. A lot of contractors out there call themselves contractors, but they really don't have knowledge when
Right.
it comes to codes. And we utilize codes to our advantage because everything needs to be rebuilt up to the code. Of course, not all policies have that provision where they'll pay you for the code upgrades, but most of them do. And that's why we want to make sure we review your policy before even something happens because a lot of people pay money, they just don't even know what they're paying for. I mean, wouldn't you want to know what you're paying for? When you buy a car, don't you read through the paperwork, know what you want to, what's the interest rate, how much you're going to pay overall with the interest and the payments and the gap insurance and all those other provisions, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely
Well,
right.
most people, unfortunately, don't read the insurance policies, or even if they try, they won't understand it. They'll be confused because one thing may say this and the other thing will take it back. So it can be confusing, and some of them can be, you know, hundreds of pages if you're talking about commercial policies.
Right.
So we offer free policy review to anyone, PA, New Jersey, all over the United States, actually. We can do it remotely.
Wow. Wow, we might be reviewing my policy come in the next couple of days, you and I. So,
I highly encourage you.
yeah, and that's exactly. I'd rather have the information up front before
You should.
before there's an emergency, because like you never know if there's something that's going to go
And,
wrong.
and you'll be surprised. And a lot of people don't have the right endorsements or the right coverage, especially in the past few years. the building products went in price like crazy. Houses went up crazy. To rebuild a house, it's not the same as it was 2, 3 years ago. Today it's a different world.
Wow. So, in order to review all these policies and continue to help everybody, I mean, you can't just be a one-man band. I'm sure you have, you have 9 people on that work with
Yeah,
PB
our
Adjusting?
team is about 9 people.
Okay. So
And my wife is my business partner. She's the office person. She
Okay.
handles majority of the back office stuff.
wow. So does each person on your team have like territories that they go to, or how does that work with your
No,
team? Is
no,
everybody helping everybody?
They actually, we don't tell them what to do. They go on their own. They mostly like salespeople.
Hmm.
They go get the business, and we provide a great service.
Wow.
We work together, and I think we work great as a team.
That's incredible. I love to hear it.
I treat them like a family. They treat us like a family.
That's great. That's great. Awesome. So next, I like to move into a segment called the Big Three. So the Big Three are there are 3 questions that I ask absolutely everybody that comes onto the show. So my first question for you, Peter, is what do you think makes Bucks County a great place to live?
Wow. In general, I have lived most of my life in Philadelphia, and I didn't know any better. But then I moved into Bucks County, and then I realized, wow, what a difference. I think it's more business friendly. There's a lot of great businesses, services. It's central of everything. I can, go pretty much anywhere, each direction, because it's like the center of where most businesses go through. There's a lot of very educated people. I think they're less angry as Philadelphia people. But I think it's just a great area to live in and grow. And Bucks County is constantly just growing. I can just, I've been in Bucks County maybe now about 6, 7 years.
Wow.
I'm still learning about it, but there's just so much in Bucks County that you can do that, it's just impossible to see it all in your probably lifetime.
Yeah.
But that's my goal.
And for everyone listening, I want you to know that I do not coach anybody on these answers. Peter, that is the most common answer that we get, is that it is so unique and beautiful and business friendly, and that, I was a Northeast Philly kid. I grew up in Northeast Philly, and moving to Bucks County has truly changed my life because, I feel like the air is cleaner, the people are friendlier. It really is, and nothing wrong with Philadelphia. That city has my heart.
Yeah.
That city has my heart. A devastating Super Bowl loss. I'm still licking my wounds from that. I absolutely love the city of Philadelphia, but from a distance. From an arm's length at this point. And I love your answer. I love your answer. I love that everybody kind of feels so passionate about Bucks County the same way that I do.
And you know what? My office is in Bensalem, but I do business all over, and I do a lot of networkings. But the mayor of Bensalem is just phenomenal. Like, you can tell his heart is in the Bensalem, not only Bensalem but Bucks County, and he prioritizes. I know his police force is like number one, and you can tell his heart is in the Bucks County. He will do anything he can to make it grow, make it prosperous. So, just amazing people.
Yeah.
They don't care about the money. They just care about people.
Exactly. When you care about the people, the dollars take care of themselves. Yep. Awesome. So my next question, Peter, is what's your favorite restaurant in Bucks County?
Should I say it? Because if I say it, most people may want to go there.
I'd love to hear it. Everybody wants to hear it.
So there's numerous, actually, but I think the most favorite one that I like to go to is Georgine's.
Georgine's. That's
Croydon.
A great one.
And also King George.
King George Inn.
It depends on my mood. Because then if I want Mexican, there's different places I'll go for Mexican. I like authentic food.
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgine's is just phenomenal food. And, my surf and turf is my favorite there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Georgine's had this veal parmesan. It takes up like the entire plate.
You never walk out there without, doggy bag.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to finish it all.
Yeah, awesome. And my last question for you, Peter, is where can people find out more about you and PB Adjusting?
Well, first of all, they can go on my website, pbadjusting.com. They can also call me or text me 267 392 9907. That's 267 392 9907. Or email us your policy if you'd like us to review it, claims@pbadjusting.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, Peter. I really am excited to see you continue to grow PB Adjusting and individually as a human being, because just from talking about where you were to where you are now, and to have a clear idea of where you're going, it's an absolute miraculous gift that I'm able to experience it with you. So I appreciate you coming onto the show and talking and kind of uncovering some of the mysticism around public adjusting. So thank you so much,
My
Peter.
pleasure, and thank you for your time and for making this happen. I really appreciate it. I think knowledge is the key, and giving that out there to the people to get more education and knowledge. It's a great thing.
Yes. And as always, I'm your host, Alex Neff. Make sure to reach out if you have any questions about Bucks County living.